Alright, so shed lighting update on these LED strips alongside with the Milwaukee M18 power supply. I originally was using one of these M18 power supplies meant to be used for the heated clothing to power the lights, but that actually doesn't work well. These apparently cap out at only 1 amp of power. It kills a diode inside of them. So if you have a plan of doing this, do not use the power source for the heated clothing. It just doesn't provide enough power. Instead, you should probably be using something like the M18 Top Off, which I think can handle 150, 175 watts apparently. That will actually be able to power these lights without killing the tool itself. Now, if you are using that to supply power to the lights on the shed, you'll notice that doesn't provide a lot of light. Obviously, this is during the daytime, but I'm taking this video intentionally during the daytime. Instead of trying to use the LED strips as your general lighting for your shed, I instead actually recommend using the Linkable LEDs overhead, same ones that you get over at Harbor Freight. These provide way more lighting than the strip. And for reference, obviously you see now, use the strip during the daytime. You can see relatively it gives off a decent amount of light, but not much, and that's just from one strip alone. I'm going to stop the video real quick and I'll start it back up with the overheads plugged in instead. I have the overheads plugged in right now. The power supply is on, and for reference, because these are the linkable ones, I can turn one on or the other. I'm just going to turn the furthest one away because then you'll actually be able to see a better comparison of the difference in lighting. They do give off a slight hum, but you can notice that there is a lot better lighting across the board just from one of these compared to that LED strip. If I decide to get both of them turned on, even during the daytime, I'm getting a decent boost in lighting inside of the shed. And these cost about, I think, like, what, 23, 30, in that range each, and they are linkable. I seem to get about 2 hours of runtime from one of the 4 amp hour batteries if I'm using it to power it like at nighttime or something. So if you upgrade your battery to something bigger, you'll probably get better runtime. I just have 2 of them and I sort of alternate between the 2 because by the time one is done, the other one seems to be charged and it's perfectly fine. It is way better to use these overheads, honestly. It's not even like a contest. You get maybe like a quarter of the lighting of one of these if you're using one of those strips, and it just doesn't direct it all that well. So yeah. If you're looking to get one of these top offs, they tend to be honestly pretty damn pricey and they don't seem to come on sale all that often. The part number for it is, let's see, 284-8-20. And according to the inside of this, it can handle up to 175 watts on 120 volt on the output. The input obviously is, the 18 volt batteries. So yeah, highly recommend. Way better lighting scenario than before. And another upside of these things is that you can actually adjust where you want the lighting, and they're way more flexible than the stick-on LEDs, because the stick-on LEDs are very directional in how they point out the light. The light from there is primarily getting sent out over here, whereas the light from that is primarily focused down, and it's a lot more varied in how it spreads it. Because, they're actually meant to be used for general lighting. The LED strip would probably be good for something like the lighting the underside of something like here, like lighting the underside of this, but honestly with how well these output light, it's honestly kind of moot, to be frank. You can see even if I stand over here, I still have plenty of lighting overall, even though it's daytime, of course. Yeah. And that's a little update on these lights.